All right, everyone, welcome to our latest, I think I can call this one a masterpiece. If you remember, this is my old house. This is the house I had 2016 to roughly 2021, I believe, is when I sold this place. I didn't mean to sell it. We were actually buying a house on the lake. That house didn't appraise, but this house is already sold, and so that's when I moved out and moved to the Harbor Hills house where we did an outdoor kitchen there. I moved to now the house I'm in now where we did an outdoor kitchen there. So I guess technically this is my fourth outdoor kitchen we've done, and this is the biggest, the most elaborate, the most difficult to do, and I'd have to say that the design team, Kyle and Ed and team, I think Brooke worked on this as well, Scott worked on this, the whole design team worked on this with Lena and Craig, the owners. Of course, Mike killed it with the install. This is a much more sophisticated install than what we normally would do, where you just kind of stick the cabinets on the ground. I guess I don't get any credit for any of this other than just being the host of the show. So I want to take you through this from start to finish, take you through all the different parts and pieces of this, why things matter, and why I think you might want to consider, hitting us up to design your outdoor kitchen. I'm actually pitching the local community here called the Villages, Florida, on building a showroom and then possibly install teams. And so this has been part of my long-term plan. And so when Lena said, "Hey, I'd like to do an outdoor kitchen," I said, "Can we do it for you? We'll do it for free." She paid for the raw cost of the stuff, and so I volunteered us to do all the work. So I volunteered Mike and Trevor to do all the work. So the first thing you'll notice, this is a really interesting color choice. I don't remember the color, what we called this. We'll put it in the below here, so Mike will put it in the description. But Lena had chosen this color. We were back and forth on it as we all sort of made the decision on what we wanted it to look like, and it actually turned out great. I think Mike's going to choose this color at his house. It's much, I think, more timeless than the gray that I normally choose. The way that NatureKast builds these cabinets is they build it, this is emulating teak, and so they're building it the way they pour the resin. They pour it in a mold, and that mold is based off of a real piece of teak, and in order to create different patterns and different finishes, they actually pour in several different molds. And from what the NatureKast guys told us, that piece of teak that they use to create the mold can only do 10 or 12 sets of cabinets, and then they have to throw it away and make a new one. But the way that these cabinets work is, I'll pull out the garbage can here so you can get an idea. And so the internal structure of the cabinet here is black PVC. You can order it in black, you can order it in white. If you look inside of here, see the ones they haven't put a bunch of stuff in yet. And so you can see the internal structure of the cabinet is a PVC-based material. I could throw it in the pool, get it out 100 years later, wipe the algae off, and the cabinet would be brand new. And then if you look at the face of each cabinet, or each cabinet door, the doors are made out of the resin material, and so we have normal, nice soft close doors, and then they're produced off of a single piece of teak. So this is a resin system, or a resin material that has a UV top coat on it, so it won't fade in the sun. It won't have problems in the rain. It won't have problems in the snow, and so they're lifetime cabinets that you would buy, and they're treated and set up to be in these elements where today I'm probably at 80%, 85% humidity right now. It's a sort of rainy off and on day, and so out here in Central Florida, to do regular wooden cabinets is just not very practical. Although I will say the cabinets that were in here held up pretty well. I'd assumed they were going to be a moldy mess, but they turned out nice. So the array of cabinets we'd set up, quite a bit of it is our internal, or our prefabbed or sized cabinets. Like this is their 36-inch single upper, dual lower door. But we do have some filler pieces where we're using the trim in order to kind of build and encase the cabinet array. Same thing you would do if you were doing a kitchen. But the thing I like about this so much more, it feels to me more like a high-end kitchen. Versus when most people do outdoor kitchens, you see them often, they're either doing cabinets out of metal and they're just doing like a single non-custom array, or they'll do it out of stone. So they'll build a 2x4, 2x6 pressure treated base, and then do stonework or do concrete. I prefer this look. This is much more high-end kitchen to me. And so we have the 36. We also like to, when we put these together, these aren't necessary, but we do these corbel end pieces. When you do the corbel in between, it's not a corbel, what do they call these things, Mike? Pilasters. Yeah, so the pilasters, we like to do these in between our cabinets because it makes it I think it makes it look more robust, more finished, and more, more, I guess, high end. Now it costs quite a bit to do that, quite a bit extra, but when we end cap a regular cabinet array with a pilaster instead of with just a trim piece, it really makes it look a whole lot cleaner. So the other thing we do on all these setups is I order these T316, I believe these are. I think these are 304. The only 316 handles I found are really ugly, so we're rolling the dice here. There's no salt here in Central Florida. If you're on the coast where there's saltwater issues, you'd want to be sure that you did T316, but we can get away with 304 stainless. These knobs are from Top Knobs, the same ones I did at my house, the same one I do in the Helen house. On a side note, if you are interested in doing a cabinet array and you're not sure, you want to do an outdoor kitchen, you can go to Destination OG. So check out the new Destination OG app, which Manny and team created. Go here, it'll take you to Helen House. You can book it on the app. It'll also give you, when you become a hosted member or a borrower of the house, it'll give you all your Wi-Fi information, everything you know about the place, where you can learn about the different products, different things in each room. It'll also be, next time I go up there, we'll have QR codes on the wall where we'll be able to scan and watch videos, how-tos, how to use the air conditioning system, how to use the home theater, how to set up the racing sim. But we do have a NatureKast array in Helen. You can book a week. It's $5,500 off peak. It's $6,500 on peak, meaning most of the summer months I charge a little bit more. I pay the cleaning fee. I pay all the other costs. There's no nonsense fees. You do have to pay the sales tax, but the concept there is you can go borrow my house for money. I do have a Cayman GTS there, which you can borrow for a separate fee, and get to experience. We have an alfresco grill. We have the Vent-A-Hood. There we have an Evo instead of a big green egg, but we have the Evo 36-inch cooktop that you can use and get to experience and touch and feel the NatureKast cabinets. Mine are the black ash looking style, but make sure to go to obsessedgarage.com, click on destinations. We have our new app. You can download the app right now if you're interested, and play with the interface and learn about all that's at the house. So make sure to check that out. So this cabinet structure was quite a bit different than the ones we've done in the past because we did a big green egg. So it was interesting to see how we put this together. This cabinet is really heavy, really dense, because the BGE and the ceramic, big hefty, big green egg requires a much more dense cabinet. And so this one has a lot of reinforcement, really, really stout. And so the structure here is, you don't want a lot of drawers in an outdoor kitchen. I've learned that. If you get a lot of drawers, there's a lot of humidity, you have a lot of problems with the stuff that's in it. So we have a single main drawer. We want a large garbage can, and I want that garbage can near my cooking area. We have our lower doors for some of our stuff that we may need for the grill. This one, we ended up putting a small little 12-inch drawered cabinet in order to flank or to make this 45-degree turn. And then I also don't like a lot of uppers. I find that I don't store a lot of things out in the outdoor kitchen because of the cockroaches and rodents and stuff like that. Now, nothing's going to eat the cabinets, which is nice, but that doesn't mean they're not going to make their home there. But it is, again, water impervious, so you could spray Telstar or some sort of pest control on it and not have problems in the future. So the beauty of it is its indestructibility, in that it's set up to last forever. So Appliance is out here. We ended up with the Perlick. I call this the alcoholic ice maker. So this is the one that makes the big, the big fat ice for your alcoholic beverage of choice. Yeah, iced coffee, stuff like that, Mike says. So the Perlick ice maker is commercial grade. I mean, they make these things for restaurants and stuff. I discovered them at the K-Biz show in Orlando several years ago. And we did one of these in Adam LZ's house. I'm kind of waiting to do one at my house. When I keep doing all these remodels, it makes me want to remodel my kitchen, and so it's on the docket. We did a 18-inch, because they're not going to use this a ton, but an 18-inch Bosch a dishwasher. I think there aren't many companies that make the 18 inches, so I don't know that we had a lot of choice. I think this was like $800 or $900 for the 18-inch version. The Bosch, I've kind of headed toward doing like Asco, Cove, probably do, maybe Miele on the dishwasher front. The Bosches just don't feel quite as nice as they used to, but for this application, it's beautiful, stainless, fits the role. We played with this and mocked this up to make sure that the door wasn't completely in the way when I'm transitioning from my sink to and where the drain was placed, and so we test fit that to make sure that the door wasn't blocking our ability to reach the sink. The other thing that Craig does a lot of smoking, and so the big green egg, we made sure to set it up so that the egg stops short of hitting the backsplash. And I've never used one of these, but I know it sears and cooks steaks and meat really, really awesomely, so maybe I should consider getting one. Then we shrunk this down a little bit in order to make this all fit under a single hood, but the Alfresco 36-inch. We didn't do a sear station on this one. We did all the what do we call it? The ceramic sections, ceramic bricks. Because most of his searing he would likely do on the big green egg. And so we made that choice. Has motorized rotisserie, so the rotisserie infrared on the back. You can actually take and fold the hot dog area, or the off grill area. You can actually pull this out, fold it back out of the way, and then all stainless steel grates, which are easy to clean, easy to operate. This does have a smoker area. I got in trouble in the last video talking about doing cedar for smoking. Apparently that's not a thing. I don't do that. It's not my thing. I just make steaks and burgers. So what would you use? Mesquite or hickory. Oak, something like that. Hickory, oak, something like that. Apparently cedar's not something you would use to smoke. So sorry about that, grill masters. But this setup here is you buy the Alfresco insert, which is about $700. This grill I think is $7,300. So we were gonna sort of bring the level of appliances down a step, but Lena and Craig decided, look, I mean, first of all, I'm doing this for free and doing it at cost for them, because I wanted to do another kitchen where we could get some video and photos and learn, continue to learn. And so I talked them into doing the ultra high-end Alfresco. Heston, Twin Eagles, Alfresco are the top three, and my preference is the Alfresco, just because of how clean it is, how the knobs feel. The Hestons are beautiful. This one appeals to me the most, and we're a dealer for these as well. I became a dealer because I bought so many of these, and we've been doing a bunch of them all over the place. And then the biggest part of the project outside of the flagstone was to do the hood. So this is a 66-inch single Venta hood. It has two 600 CFM motors. The other problem with this house, or fans I guess I should say, the problem with this house when I was here, same thing Lena and Craig experienced, is the hood. First of all, the hood that was here was too high, so it wouldn't create the proper Venturi effect to get the smoke out. And the other problem is the the vent was too small. It was only an 8-inch vent. Now it's dual 8s, so it has dual 8-inch, which go out. And then the third problem was that the vent was like directly overhead. And so just the way the wind kind of comes over the roof, it would bring the smoke right back under. And so Mike ran that go 6 feet up the roof line in order to hopefully carry the smoke out and away from this area. Will make it so much more useful. So that was the biggest thing that we needed to solve. It was a huge part of the project. We had to order a bunch of custom parts in order to make that work. So hopefully in your outdoor kitchen you won't have to do something quite as elaborate. But the Vent-A-Hood has 2 turn-on knobs and then a single light option where you have a dim and then a full-on option as well. We did do all Lutron, which if you're always confused on what Lutron stuff to do, or if you are confused which ones to do, just go to our store and get it. We have a quad outlet here with GFCI, and so we've swapped the outlets here to brand new Lutron stuff. GFCIs where needed, and then regular outlets as well. The other thing that's cool about this setup, we did a 24-inch sink. We probably could have swung a 36 just because of the amount of use we're doing out here. We decided to do a 24, which I was kind of excited about. So I did a little deeper version. I believe this is 24 inches deep, but this is the tiered version of a Havens Metal, and we did a single tier on this one. And so you can do all kinds of accessories, cutting board. They do make a 2-tier as well, but you can do and put various utilities inside the sink. It's a 304 stainless, and then we have our masterpiece here, which is the Waterstone faucet. So knurling is real, but this particular version. We did the water wheel, the Endeavor. We did that at Adam LZ's place. At this kitchen, I wanted to do a regular faucet. This is more my style, more Lena and Craig's style, and so I think it turned out beautifully. So we did the full 304 stainless version. So actually, not cut out a piece of brass, cut out a solid piece of stainless, where they'll CNC it. We'll put a link in the description. I did a factory tour of Waterstone. Make sure to go check that out. They're very OG spec, so I'd highly recommend you watch that video if you're considering getting Waterstone. This wasn't all that out of the realm of possibility. I think these sell for somewhere around $2,500. So you're going to pay 2 times more. I don't know if it's 2 times the quality, but we have diminishing returns when you get into ultra high-end stuff. And so although this looks very simple, very clean, very basic, to get the best quality craftsmanship, what I love about Waterstone is they build it what it needs to be and then figure out what it costs, rather than build it to a price point, which most products are built to. Always made out of full, they're basically they're CNCing out of a hunk of metal versus castings and stuff like that in almost all instances. So countertops are a granite. We did concrete countertops at my house just to kind of test that out. We did granite in Helen. I did granite in the house, the last house I did. The beauty of granite outside is that you can put hot stuff on it versus if we did a quartz. I just like to do granite outside, quartz inside. I feel like with the grill and the heat of the grill, I just don't want to risk it. If you took like a hot pan and put it on granite, you're fine. If you put it on quartz, it doesn't work. But notice we decided to do a rounded edge here because you don't want to smack your hip on a sharp corner. So we did bullnose edge. Otherwise, they bought some stools, and I talked her into doing all countertop height rather than bar height. The bar height is, I think, just a little dated. And so now they have a giant, I want to say this is 12 feet long, and we can even put some other stools around the side if you wanted to try to fit some more people. But this just feels right. So we did a 12-inch overhang, and because we're only 12 inches over on this, we didn't need to do any special corbels or brackets. And my outdoor kitchen, because of the way that we set up the Evo, we had an 18-inch overhang at certain sections, and so we had to get some L brackets. You can hit me up if you're thinking about doing this and you need a longer overhang. I do have, I think it's Iron Supports or something like that was the company that we had used in the past. Then here, Lena came up with this idea, which I thought was genius. Why don't you put a fridge on the pool side? So jump out of the pool, come grab a drink, come grab a Capri Sun, and you're set up. And then when they're hosting parties, this becomes a serving area. I like this. They put the bottle opener right here. They've talked about possibility of extending the steps out, which I think she may end up doing. So we'd extend the steps out. But this here, Mike had to do some more stonework to clean all that up. And then this here is actually an extended filler panel. So we did some pressure treated framing and bought these specifically. When we design this, we make sure the design, we consult with the engineers or the architects at NatureKast, and they'll help us decide how much trim work do we need. You can see there has to be a seam somewhere, and so the seam here, and make sure we get the proper toe kicks and trim pieces. Notice there's some trim work here on the side that we had to do that Mike had to describe. And so we make sure we get all the proper trim work in order to finish the project. Trim piece here, trim piece here. We have an end cap here to finish the cabinet. And so we make sure that we get all those proper parts and pieces in order to finish the project. So you're looking at realistically, to do an outdoor kitchen like this, if you included labor, would probably be close to 6 figures. The underlying cost of this, a lot of it is in the high-end appliances, which you could save some money on. We spent some money also on improving the lighting. She already had the big ass fans here, but we did. I think it's WAG or WAC, one or the other. I think it's WAC lighting. There was a single track here. And so this was really dark. There was only 3 light bulbs, 3 5K, 650 lumen bulbs, but it has completely transformed how it looks out here. The style of this out here, the whole cedar look and stone, I think it needs to be a little bit, you don't want it to be as bright as the sun, but I think this is the appropriate amount of light for this outdoor kitchen. But I cannot explain to you how much bigger and more open everything feels. We did push the table about 12 inches that way from where it was before, but bringing it all the way out to the post just made a lot of sense. So the design team really killed it, working with the homeowners to make sure that it really fit this area. We taped it off and stood out here and wanted to make sure we had proper, ingress, egress, where it didn't feel like it was encroaching on anything. And we ended up with what I think to be a pretty darn decent masterpiece here, with the 36-inch grill, adding the green egg, and then getting proper ventilation. The only thing left to do here is to make some burgers and hang out, but it turned out really, really great. Unfortunately, she's not willing to resell me the house, and if she did, she'd probably sell it to me for triple. But I feel like this was a project that was like unfinished business, kind of like my '99 Civic, I just got to finish what was unfinished. And so now they get to enjoy it for years to come. This will last forever. It'll certainly add value to the home in the future. And now they have a purely functional outdoor kitchen versus before I had issues with dealing with smoke and not being able to cook more than one burger at a time. So thanks to Lena and Craig for letting us do this. Hit up design@obsessedgarage.com, or go to the design tab if you're interested in having us design this thing for you. The installation component, if you don't have to do flagstone and cut walls in half and you're just putting it on your deck, I'm telling you, I could do this myself. It's really not too difficult, especially with all the tutorial video stuff that we have for you. Or, you know, we can work with your contractor, you know, if they don't do this kind of stuff. You have a handyman or somebody who's really skilled that you want us to sort of put this together. I've learned a lot about, it's just the way I like it is so much different than what seems to be available in normal circumstances. So anyway, thanks for your support, and we'll see you on the next big project. Mike's Kitchen's next. Thanks for watching.